Thanks for joining us today on the Big Blue Podcast. I'm Leigh Goodson, and I'm joined by my co-host, Provost Greg Stone. Hello, Greg. How are you?
I'm well, Dr. Goodson. How are you?
Great. We're here at the McKeon Center for Creativity at the Metro campus, and just today, here at the Center for Creativity, we announced the pilot with Union High School for Early College High for some of our ambitious high school students, and it's targeted at first-generation college students. We're really excited about it, so maybe we'll do a show on that some other time. But our guests today are Professor Susan O'Neill and Lynn Richmond, who help coordinate the TCC Honors Scholars Program. And so we see so many of your students that really achieve great things. And a lot of times people don't realize that this is an opportunity we have here at TCC. So we're really excited to have you here today. So I'm going to just start off. I'm going to quote your webpage real quick, and I don't want to mess it up, but it says, by Samuel Schumann, it says, "It seems apparent that a prime purpose of virtually all honors programs is to add luster to the educational careers of the students in them." Tell us what that means to you and how that's informed the development of the honors program. Tell us a little bit about that. So what does it mean to add luster to someone's program?
I love that quote, but it also worries me sometimes because I worry some that people could misinterpret it.
Yeah, it could be misinterpreted as something shallow or not meaningful.
Right, like a gold star.
Yeah, right. Like it's
through the gold star they increase some credential.
You're adding glitter to it or something.
Exactly.
Right.
And it's not that. It's the luster that comes from actual gold, not a paper gold star. But the students themselves develop through their journey in the honors program, and not always through things that are intentionally done by us, but we think the program is a catalyst for stimulating their curiosity, and then they seek out opportunities sometimes without our knowledge. But by being in the honors program and being encouraged to see themselves as true scholars and getting hands-on experience with what they're learning, doing very experiential things, doing research early on, doing creative endeavors early on, they develop themselves in such a way that they truly, truly shine. And then when they complete the program, they're very well prepared. They've had experiences that other students at the freshman and sophomore levels maybe don't have. They have knowledge and depth that is fantastic, and it opens doors for them. And so by completing our program, then there are some transfer opportunities that open up for them too that can help them continue to add luster to their educational careers as they go on to, say, an honors college that's highly esteemed, or a selective university, go on to graduate school.
Yeah, and I think, we can not only help transform a student into the kind of golden student that she's talking about through the environment that we offer and the opportunities that we sort of make available to the students, but we can show the public the golden students who are already here, because I think there are some myths about who community college students are, and we have really high achieving high school students who choose to come to TCC, and they want to be in an honors program and be challenged, and they have the ACT scores and the academic background and the engagement once they're here to sort of carry through. We also have students who maybe are really bright, but they had ignominious high school careers, and they see TCC as a fresh start, and they're really open to being challenged by the program. And some of our best students are non-traditional students, and they haven't been in high school in a long time. They're so thrilled to finally get to college, regardless of whatever kept them from going straight into college from high school, and they want to get the most out of being here. And so there are wonderful students going to school here. This is not a school that you go to because you can't get anywhere else. Students are choosing to start here because they see what kind of opportunities are available for them.
So Susan, let me ask you, and I know over the years I've referred a lot of people to the honors program, as many of our faculty have done, but maybe for someone who's a new faculty member or a new adjunct maybe who might listen in, what criteria are you looking for in terms of students? What types of students should we refer to the honors program, and what are those criteria for students who are interested in applying to be an honor scholar?
We don't expect the faculty to know what the criteria for applying are. We just want them to be looking for bright, engaged, curious students, and then we can take it from there. But for students who are interested in applying to the program, we can look at any number of high school or college criteria. For instance, someone coming out of high school might want to see if they have a 3.5 unweighted GPA. A 25 on the ACT is also a good score. We can even look at their SAT score, or if they took the GED, we can also look at that. We also look to see if students have been in the National Honor Society. Some students apply based on their college criteria. Maybe they've been at TCC and they've earned at least 12 credit hours, and they have a GPA at TCC of 3.5, and they've taken at least 2 honors classes and made an A or B in those classes. And that's why we open up our honors classes to anybody who would like to see if they're a good fit, because we want to give them an opportunity to earn the criteria that they need to apply to the program. We're also interested in people who have special talents. We've had pianists, painters, singers, people with amazing creative abilities, writers come through the program, and we think that's a really important area of expression that adds a lot to our program, and so we can look at that as well.
It's one of the things I like about the program so much is that there's not just one way in. You don't have to conform to just one channel. It really is sort of looking for what does that whole person bring, and it provides so many opportunities for so many students. It's just a hallmark.
Well, and you're a
of our
great example of
institution.
that. We're very proud of the fact that you're an honor scholar.
I
at
am.
TCC.
I am. I'm proud of that as well. Really, and we can talk about that later. I have a question about that.
Is that another show?
No. We'll just punt that for about 5 minutes or 10 minutes.
Well, Greg, you talked about hallmarks of the program, and one of the hallmarks of the program is smaller classes, maybe an experience that has more depth than breadth, and not just, you think about, I have a student in high school right now, and I am really working hard to understand the difference between AP, which is just, advanced placement, which is just, they describe as a lot more work, and IB, which is International Baccalaureate, which they describe with a lot of depth. Talk to us about what are the hallmarks really. Are some of the courses just more work and some are depth? Are they generally more depth? If you were to describe some of the various hallmarks of the program, what would those be?
More work is not one of the hallmarks. It's not, students don't need
Yay.
to fear that it's going to be just
Yay.
more homework.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't get extra points for doing more math problems in the honors program. It's a different kind of work. And the fact that the classes are capped at 20 students helps make that possible. I mean, most classes are small at TCC. I think that's one of the wonderful things about TCC. But some will be 35 or 40 students in some disciplines and not in the honors program. We're always capped at 20. So that means the students can have really hands-on opportunities that the faculty can manage in a smaller group. So a class might be doing service learning where they're applying what they learn as they're learning it. They might do a field trip. In fact, our astronomy class is going to be going, I think, this coming weekend, to the Okie-Tex Star Party in the panhandle of Oklahoma.
Nice.
To do some stargazing with
Nice.
astronomers who bring high-powered telescopes, and it's one of the darkest places in North America. That's a really honorsy sort of experience to get to do. It's experiential. That's really the main hallmark, and through doing and applying what they're learning right away, really using it actively, they get greater depth of understanding. So that's really it. It's not that it's a harder grading scale or more homework. It's that they're expected to be really active participants in their education, come to class ready to be really active participants. So it's demanding a lot of them, but not necessarily more hours of homework.
Yeah, and I think as an honors faculty member, what I see is that the honor scholars are what make the class. And our honor scholars will write about that in their exit essays, that it's really the other students that make it an honors experience. Because I see my students holding each other to a higher standard of accountability. The story I tell to high school students all of the time when they're wanting to know what the classes are like, sometimes I'll come down the hall to unlock the door and they've started without me. I mean, they're in the hall and the discussion is going on, and I just sort of move them into the room and just facilitate what they were more than prepared to carry on. And
They
of
don't
course,
really need you, do they?
they don't, but
But
I
you're
would
glad
like to
you're there.
assert that I can play some small role in it by bringing more to the table myself,
Yeah.
Sure.
creating the kind of environment where they're going to be comfortable doing that, give them creative assignments that are going to challenge them to think critically, but really they are what make it an honors experience.
We are here today with Professor Susan O'Neill, who is our Honors Program Coordinator, and Lynn Richmond, who is the Administrative Assistant Guru here, who's had a long history with the Honors Program as well, on the Big Blue podcast. And we talked a little bit earlier about opportunities for what happens after an honors scholar finishes here at TCC. We have a number of transfer agreements and opportunities for our honors scholars to automatically start in the honors program at the university they're transferring to, and some really big financial incentives as well with some scholarship options. Tell us a little bit about some of those opportunities for students.
We have actually seamless transfer agreements with OSU's highly esteemed honors college. If they're in our honors program, they are admitted to OSU's, and every year we send a lot of students that way. We also have a seamless transfer agreement with the ORU honors program. The University of Tulsa gives their largest transfer scholarship to people who finish our program. It's $22,000 a year, renewable. And that's just available to anyone who's completed our program. It's not a few of these scholarships that they have to compete for.
You don't have to be in their honors program
to get it.
to
You
get
just
the
have to graduate
scholarship.
from ours.
Yes.
Right. But what's
Wow.
interesting about the TU experience is they have recently changed their honors program so that it is possible for transfer students to complete their program. And we have several former TCC students in that program now. And we think that speaks to the fact that really great students are going to TU
Right,
from
right.
TCC.
And there's an additional scholarship for those who do take that step and are in their honors program that is on top of the $22,000. So that's really nice. Our students can go to the OU Honors College, also nationally esteemed, and we've had a number of students who do that. We have quite a lot more, though, that go to OSU.
And if the students are meeting our graduation requirements, they're usually really competitive for any transfer institution's transfer scholarships. We've also had several students go on the Jack Kent Cooke undergraduate
Right.
transfer scholarship, which is the largest transfer scholarship for community college students in the United States. It's $40,000 a year, and we've had 7 winners from TCC, and
That's
almost all of them have been honor scholars.
That's amazing. I mean, to have 7 winners, because it's been around for a while, but not forever.
Right.
So that's amazing that we have had 7 winners right here from Tulsa Community College. And just a little piece of trivia, Josh Weiner, who's now with the Aspen Institute, the executive director of the College Excellence Program, helped start that program when he was at the Jack Kent Cooke Foundation.
That's
so
fantastic.
It is
Yeah.
fantastic. So he's really proud of TCC on many fronts. But one of the great experiences that some of our students get to have each year is a trip to the Great Plains Honor Conference, where many of them, they get to present. And I remember the first time I had an opportunity to present, and I think I was in graduate school the first time I had an opportunity to present. So our students and my advisor was there, And she got mad at me because I did not mad. She mentored me that you really need a visual aid, which I didn't have. And she said, if you're giving a presentation on Mary Had a Little Lamb, you want one about Mary and one about the little lamb. That's what she told me. And so anyway, what a great, I think about my experience. I wasn't prepared. I didn't get to do it till I was in graduate school. And you think about your students, and here they are, their freshman or sophomore year. You all are mentoring them through that process. What a great opportunity. Tell us a little bit about that and what kind of, how they share their research with other undergraduate scholars.
Well, we're really lucky that we have the TCC Foundation supporting us, because we have a Scholars in Motion fund that enables us to take students to this conference. It helps us pay their registration and their travel, and so it takes a big burden off of us. We can concentrate on the academic side. It's really unusual for freshmen and sophomores to have that kind of a credential on their resume, but we know that they're unfamiliar with that larger academic environment, so we try to prepare them for that by helping them write an abstract and having practice sessions and preparing them for what conferences will be like and what the travel will be like.
So the conference isn't just for community college students.
No.
It's for all undergraduate honors students?
Yes, in a
Wow.
6-state area.
Wow.
And so they're seeing what other students who are a
Yep.
little farther down the road than they are doing in their disciplines. And it's multidisciplinary, so they will meet other people who are majoring in what they're majoring in and kind of see what other students are doing. And most students do have to be junior or senior or graduate students to get that
Right.
experience, and ours are doing it as freshmen and sophomores, and always making us very proud. They do very well.
That's a
they're
testament to your
also-
mentoring. Yeah.
Right.
Well, they're also getting to meet people from honors colleges and honors programs at the upper division level from a 6-state area too, so they're making some connections there that could lead to their decision about where to transfer.
They can chat up other students, they can chat up faculty, administrators are there. I mean, it's a good chance for them to get some insight into where they might be headed next. And a lot of our students have never been anywhere. So to actually take them to another state, there are always explorations of the cities that we go to, and just to see them have that experience of broadening their horizons in that sort of unexpected way is really wonderful.
You mentioned earlier, and I'm anywhere I can brag about the fact that I am a product of our honors program, which I really am proud of, and I'm going somewhere, so hold on just for a second. Because when I was, and there are a few other TCC employees, Josh Parrish and Mona Easterling, a few of us have our names on the plaques on the wall in the Honors Lounge. But for me, I became an English major because Susan King at the time really mentored me and continued to mentor me for many, many years. I got to know great people. Lynn, I met you when we were both
Yes.
taking some classes here. And so many great faculty members along the way who kind of pushed me to be better and to think about expanding my own horizons. And I really do owe a lot of who I am as not just a professional, but a person. Really, the roots of that were our honors program. And I know that you all do the same thing, and other honors faculty who are teaching for so many of our students. And I can think of so many of our students, some of my favorite students, because we all have favorite students, who have been through your program, and they've had the same experience. Not just the work that you help them with on filling out those Jack Kent Cook applications, which is enormous, and the prep work that I've seen you do, helping students get ready for Great Plains. So just kudos to the two of you and the faculty members who support honors, because it's a life-changing opportunity for so many students. So all of that said, talk to us about a couple of students whose lives have been changed by coming through our program. Who are some of those students you still hear from and keep up with, and what are some of the interesting things that they're up to?
Well, there are a couple of other English majors like you that come to mind immediately. One's Toby Decker, who is on a Fulbright right now in Colombia,
Yeah.
the country of Colombia,
Yep.
teaching English. That's a fantastic thing. And
Yeah.
then Caroline Jennings, who won the top award at the Great Plains Honors Council the year that she presented there, has just completed her master's degree
So
at
proud of her.
Purdue and taught, was
The
a teaching
mountain.
assistant
It's the
there.
mountaintop of English.
Right?
And I don't know how often this happens, but as a graduate teaching assistant, they asked her to pilot a class that they wanted to change a pedagogical approach to one of their English classes, and they asked her to be the first to try that out, which is a fantastic honor.
Those are great examples. Yeah.
One of my first students when I transferred to Metro Campus in Honors Comp 1 was Hunter Gornick. And he wanted to go to Cornell. That was his dream school. And he earned a full ride to Cornell. And he thought he was going to be pre-med. He graduated from TCC with a triple major. I think it was biology, chemistry, and math, I want to say. But he was on a pre-med track. And then when he was looking for the pre-med society at Cornell, he wandered into the entomology club. And it was so interesting that he stayed. And he ended up working with a faculty member at Cornell doing research on, I think it was something like the mating habits of moths or something. And he did... he had his name on some scholarly papers, but he told us recently, he's finishing up at Cornell, that maybe he's learned everything he wants to learn about the reproductive habits of insects, and so he's thinking about a master's in public health. He's trying to figure out what the next step is, but just to see him soar like that was a wonderful experience.
Yeah. Linda Carter is another one that comes to mind, and I don't know if she was a student at the same time you were, Greg. It was close.
Maybe close. Her name sounds familiar to me.
Yeah, she came to TCC without a high school diploma. She did the GED and wound up getting a PhD from Vanderbilt in economics, teaches at Baylor University now, and is the program chair for undergraduate studies in their School of Business in economics. So
That's awesome.
that's
Yeah.
pretty awesome too.
Yeah.
Those are
And then
awesome.
all the Jack
Yeah,
Kent
our
Cook
Jack
people have done
Kent-
amazing
yeah.
things.
Yeah.
We have one at Guilford College right now in Peace Studies. That's Michelle Harris. Dallas Elliman is studying engineering. I think he's going to specialize in robotics at TU. Jim Presley's in physics at the University of Colorado at Boulder. So we've got some real standouts.
major
We do have some
accomplishments.
standouts, absolutely.
Well, we just have a couple of more minutes. What great opportunities for those students, and then for us as TCC to have them be part of us. So there's one last question that we ask all of our guests, and we give it to you ahead of time, so you should be ready. But if you could go back in time and give your 18-year-old self some advice, and we got some funny answers today.
We've had some good answers.
I was thinking about
they're,
Paula.
They're all great answers.
Yeah, Paula and Matt had some
Yeah.
good answers.
Yeah.
They answered opposite. So, because Matt, well, anyway, you have to listen
Just
to the
listen.
show.
Listen to
Yeah,
the
I'm not
podcast.
going to
You'll
spoil
find
it. No spoilers. If you could go back in time and give your 18-year-old self a piece of advice, what would it be?
For me, it would be life is long, resist the impulse to specialize too soon. I was
I
in
like
such a
that.
hurry,
Yeah.
and I would tell myself to really drink deeply in the gen ed classes and enjoy them and explore every corner of who I am. I took CLEP tests to try to get ahead, and I have mixed feelings about that now. I wish that I had not taken advantage of that, or
Hurry
had at
so
least,
much, yeah.
you know, if I was going to CLEP out a comp, I should have at least taken some other English to replace it. But I wish that I had not specialized so early in my major.
Susan, what about you?
I feel the same way in that I limited myself. I had a tendency to pick opportunities because I thought they were opportunities that I would excel at because I had already excelled at similar opportunities before. So I think I was afraid to take risk and to explore things. I was too quickly led by what other people suggested that I should do. And the worst thing in the world is to look back when people ask you why you did something and your answer is, I fell into it, or somebody else told me I should do it, or I already knew that I could do that. And so I would be, I think, a little more experimental
Intentional.
and a little more
Think about things a little longer.
more
And
deliberate about
Yeah.
things. It's amazing that I got through unscathed with that sort of shallow view of what might come next.
you know, it's interesting the way you answer that question, because we get this is a theme, I think, Greg, in that I wish I had more maturity
Yeah.
in my pocket when I was having to make really
Big decisions.
big
Yeah.
decisions that may not be what I do for the rest of my life, but really set a course for how you make those decisions for the rest of your life. So that's very interesting. Thank
Yes.
you
I
for
hope
that.
students take advantage of our career center.
Yes,
Yes.
For
I
all
do
those
too.
reasons.
Yes,
Absolutely.
exactly.
Career Explorer, yeah.
Yeah.
Good. Well, you've been listening to the Big Blue Podcast today. We want to thank our guests, Susan O'Neill and Lynn Richmond. Thank you very much for joining us today, and we want to thank you for listening. Remember, you can catch us every week, the Big Blue Podcast, each week on The Week at TCC and on the Creativity Channel at YouTube. Greg, thanks.
Thank
We'll
you.
see you next time.